Welcome back. Hollywood is currently betting heavily on a live-action reboot of Masters of the Universe for 2026. The production is assembling a level of talent that suggests they are aiming for a significant cinematic event. For the primary antagonist, Skeletor, the studio has secured Jared Leto. For the soundscape, they've brought in Queen's Brian May to produce the soundtrack. This scale of investment seems unusual for a property centered on a barbarian in a fur loincloth, unless the character structure contains a weight that justifies the prestige. The history of the franchise begins with a colossal business blunder. He-Man was a corporate response to Mattel rejecting a toy pitch from a young George Lucas. After Mattel lost millions in potential revenue to the Star Wars toy line, the company's leadership became desperate for a competitor. They ran focus groups with young boys to engineer a figure specifically for the toy idol, settling on a hyper-masculine barbarian designed to appeal to basic play instincts. The iconic animated series was commissioned only after the toys were finalized, serving as a daily 20-minute commercial to drive retail sales. This corporate scramble to sell plastic accidentally created a framework for a story that would eventually resonate far beyond the toy shelf. The writers at Filmation had to fill daily episodes with actual narrative. They relied on the secret identity mechanic to create tension, which unintentionally gave the show a deeper psychological layer. They established Prince Adam as a carefully crafted persona, a lazy, uninterested royal used to deflect suspicion from his true capabilities. In this structure, He-Man represents the unmasked true self, an expression of power that only appears when the social mask is stripped away. The duality mirrored an internal human struggle, the balance between our public personas and our unvented potential. This connection made the character feel significant to a generation of viewers. That narrative depth was abandoned in the catastrophic 1987 Canon Films adaptation starring Dolph Lundgren. The studio slashed the budget and moved the story to Earth to save on production costs. They discarded the established lore and stripped the hero of his traditional role, leaving him in little more than a bikini. If you enjoy analyzing the logic behind the media of your childhood, take a second to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. The 2026 reboot is attempting to correct those historical errors. The filmmakers have stated they will keep 80% of the film on Eternia, while focusing on a balance of traditional masculine and feminine traits. The production team is approaching the property as a legitimate myth, signaling that the character's longevity is being taken seriously for the first time in live action. We organized the dialogue and character interactions from the entire series into a digital brain to identify the show's underlying narrative symmetry. The data shows that the central conflict mirrors the archetypes observed by Carl Jung. The characters function as personifications of specific psychological states. He-Man functions as the solar hero, a figure defined by illumination and absolute personal agency who brings order to chaos. Skeletor personifies the shadow, representing the chaotic, rejected traits of the psyche that the hero must confront to achieve growth. These structural similarities to ancient myths explain why a franchise born from plastic toys has survived in the collective subconscious for 4 decades. Nostalgia for this era provides a framework for extracting modern ethics like resilience and empathy. The phrase, "I have the power," serves as a declaration of personal agency, a claim over one's own direction and choices. This assertion of individual power remains relevant as we navigate a world increasingly governed by algorithms and automated systems. Interacting with these stories can be an active process. We should look at the heroes of our past and identify the logic that still resonates with our current lives. Taking control of our own narrative is the most practical tool we can carry from the entertainment of our childhood into the modern world.